Hi, this is Denise Mathew, and today I'm going to make these heart-shaped earrings. I did something like this before, but it was like an ear hook. So this is just the heart, and it's just basically a heart that's been hammered with a post. Some people might like to load like just with the heart, or you could put a bead or crystal or something like that on it. They're fairly easy and quick to make, but you just the longest part may be just to get them to match properly. So let's get started. So I've already made one little heart here, so I'm just going to make a match to go with it, and then I'm going to add the little charms on the end. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm working off the spool, so I'm working with a 20 gauge wire. You probably could go down to a 22 or up to an 18, whatever you prefer, but I wouldn't go much lower than a 22. You're just going to do a little bit of a loop. I'm working off the spool, as you notice, so just something like that. So a lot of times I just use my fingers, or if you want, you can use your round nose pliers. I have these multi-size pliers, so I'm just going to make a little bit of a round, something like this. And then you can always bring it back into shape better because you're going to hammer it anyways, but kind of look at it compared to your other one, and it needs to be a little bit smaller. Have a look, and you can do measurements just to measure, and then just come down and just do a loop like that. You can make that smaller if you want. Okay, and then just take your wire and then just bring it in like that. Let's have a look and see how close these are before I cut the wire. They're pretty close. Maybe make this a little bit smaller. But other than that, I think I probably could shape them into place. So now, leaving about at least half an inch, I'm just going to trim back that wire. And I haven't straightened the ear wire apart yet because I plan on hammering it. So, and I can also go back after I hammer it and try and shape it so it's exactly the same as the other one. I'm just going to hammer this, and just to make it flatter, make it a little wire hardened so that it'll stay in place when you're wearing it. I'm going to take that middle tail, and if you notice, it goes right to the heart part, and you don't want it to go, you wouldn't want to bend it up around here. You want it as close to the heart, because when it's in your ear, you want it to look like a complete heart. So you want to go right to that center, and then just bend it up right there, okay? So, like a 90-degree angle. So this is what it would look like. Alright? It gives the illusion of a solid heart, rather than the way it is with the wires, okay? So now just lay it down, and you're not going to hammer this part, you're only going to hammer this part. So I'm only going to use the flat of my hammer just to flatten it and to wire harden it. I'm not going to texturize, but you could if you wanted to. Now that I've hammered it, I'm just going to go in and start to get it more in a heart shape, so I can just sort of adjust it and compare it against the other one. The loop is a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to make this loop a little bit smaller, just squeezing it in a little bit, and it's a bit more curled, so you're just kind of working it to So at this point, they're both wire hardened. You want to file down those ear wires to make sure that they're not sharp, because you don't want them to cut your ear. You can use a jewelry file, and if you don't have that, you can use a metal nail file, and that'll work. And some people will use this wire rounder. Now, I never really thought that these were much good, but what I realized was that I was using them the wrong way. So you have to sort of do quite a twist in them and kind of keep working it. And eventually what will happen is it will become nice and rounded. And that's another way to finish your wire if you don't want to use the files. Okay, but it's a special tool you'll have to buy if you really want to use it. So now that that's done, we have this pair of earrings. You're going to need some ear backings. So you can use like a ear backing from another pair of earrings to put them on like that. There's also silicone ones you can get. I think you can buy them. You can buy backings just by the backing. People would just be happy just to wear just the heart-shaped earring like that, and because it is kind of cute. The other option is to actually add a bead to it. So I'm just going to add a chrysoprase squares, and all I'm going to do is just, and I've done this in my how to make charms video, so I can put the link there so you can see how to do this. So it's just a little swirl, basically. Or you could use a head pin if you prefer, just a round head pin or just a regular head pin. So I just made a little swirl like that, and then just guide that right through. Your bead, and then once it's in your bead, on your bead, you're just going to use your finger and just take that little swirl and put it right up on your bead like that. Alright, and then after that you're just going to just do a regular wrap loop. So just do a 90-degree angle and wrap the wire right around your round nose pliers, and then just slide it right on. Slide it right onto that circle. But make sure when you're sliding it on that you're putting it on in a way so that the little swirl is going to show in the front. So if you notice when it hangs, the swirl is in the front part of the earring. Okay, and then once that's done, you just grab hold of that circle and then just take that tail of wire and start to wrap around and just close it. And then just trim it. And that would be your finished earring. So this concludes the tutorial. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you next time. Thanks for coming. Bye for now.